One way to tell if there's a wave of foreclosures coming to the housing market in the United States is to take a look at underwater mortgages. An underwater mortgage is simply when you owe more on your home than the home is worth. Yeah, a lot of people have faced this situation over the years, especially back in 2008, and it's not a fun situation to be in, obviously. But a lot of people in the media, especially on YouTube, are forecasting that there's going to be a massive wave of foreclosures in the next 24 months that hits the housing market and creates better buying opportunities for you, me, and others. According to CoreLogic, we now have a record number of homes with mortgages that are underwater. That's right, we have a record number of underwater mortgages in the United States. Pretty shocking. It shocked me. Check this out. I'm pulling up CoreLogic's equity report. You can go to CoreLogic's website. The link's in the description below. And so what I'm highlighted here is a paragraph, not reading the whole article at all. I'm just picking out this one part of the article. But this is telling. Check out this record-breaking number. In the first quarter of 2024, the total number of mortgaged residential properties with negative equity decreased by 2.1% from the fourth quarter of 2023, representing 1 million homes, or 1.8% of all mortgage properties. On a year-over-year basis, negative equity declined by 16% from 1.2 million homes, or 2.1% of all mortgage properties from the first quarter of 2023. So basically, we have 1.8% of all mortgage properties in the US where the home is worth less than the homeowner actually owes on the mortgage. Not a good situation to be in. So now we know we're at 1.8% of underwater mortgages now. So what does this have to do with the foreclosures, right? I mean, tell me something, Jason. Like, will this increase foreclosures or decrease foreclosures? Let's go back to 2008, 2009 for a perspective to find out where underwater mortgages were then compared to foreclosures. Then we can come back and look at where foreclosures are now and draw a correlation. So I dug through CoreLogic's reports and found that we were at 26%. Negative equity peaked at 26% of all mortgaged residential properties in the first quarter of 2009. Based on the CoreLogic equity data analysis, which began in the third quarter of 2009. So it looks like they don't capture information before 2009, but suffice to say, 26% is a lot. I mean, that would be like 2.5 houses out of every 10 on your street. We're in a situation where the homeowner actually owes more on the mortgage than the home is worth. Again, that's an underwater mortgage. Not good, 26%. Now, back in 2009, let's find out how many foreclosure filings there were. So you can see way back in 2009, we were at 1,500,000 foreclosure filings for the first half of 2009. So combined, roughly, we're at 3 million foreclosure filings in the United States in 2009. And remember, the percentage of underwater mortgages was 26%. We're at 1.8% currently of all mortgages that are underwater. So what do current foreclosure stats look like? Let's find out. Okay, so by this chart, you can see it's the same chart we used to look at 2009. Let's go all the way to 2024. 177,000 for the first half of 2024. Combined, roughly a little over 300,000 foreclosure filings. So now we know a correlation, right? Back in 2009, when the housing market was absolutely in a tailspin, we had a record percentage of mortgages underwater, but it was on the bad side, 26% of those mortgages underwater. And at that same time, we were seeing a huge spike in foreclosures, right? Over 3 million filings just for 2009 alone, according to ATTOM data. And now we have a record number of underwater mortgages as well, except it's a low record. It's the lowest on record, not the highest on record. So what does that mean for foreclosures? You can see it, only just above 300,000 foreclosures. So what does that mean if I'm hoping, wishing, and wanting a foreclosure wave to come so I can buy properties for pennies on the dollar and get the deal of my dreams? Well, one thing standing in your way, if you're planning to do that, is the time it takes to actually finish a foreclosure. Remember, a filing is just a filing when they file a foreclosure, but to complete the foreclosure takes some time. How long? Glad you asked. Let's look. All right, so this is a chart by ATTOM data, and you can see this is the number of days it takes on average to finish a foreclosure once it's filed, to complete it. And something should stand out to you. And that, it stood out to me, 815 days. That's how long it takes right now. 815 days on average. Some states are over 2,000 days. So I'm going to ask you logically, do you see a foreclosure wave coming anytime soon when we have a record low number of mortgages underwater currently? We also have a almost historical low level of foreclosures. And it takes 2.2 years approximately to complete a foreclosure, meaning if all of a sudden we had a huge spike in underwater mortgages this year, and this year we saw a huge rise in foreclosure filings. Let's say they go up to 1 million for just this year. Well, it's going to take at least 2 years to see those actually hit the market, probably 2 years. Heck, let's say that timeline improves and it's a year, meaning you probably have at least 24 months, 36 months, 48 months, could be 60, 72 months before you ever see a wave of foreclosures. And that if or only if we see a large rise in underwater mortgages in the United States. Hey, so if you're really wanting some foreclosures, then you can do what I do, which is track negative equity. That's a great indicator. You can track it yourself, or heck, subscribe to my channel and we can track it together. Maybe we'll find some in, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5 years and we'll be celebrating. Another way I track the foreclosure wave and if we'll see an uptick in negative equity and underwater mortgages is to look at months of supply. I have a great video on that too. You should check that out right now.